Hey, good evening. I'm Dan Fitzpatrick at StockMarketMentor.com, and it's Tuesday, June 23rd. Let's look at Netflix, okay? Everybody's all lathered up now. Stock hit a new high, 692.79. That was on Wednesday the 10th, right? Well, yippee. We're above that now. Do you know why? Well, it's been a big, huge fundamental shift in the company. They're splitting 7 for 1. We all knew this was coming. Because that was one of the reasons why the stock jacked up so much before. They got authorization to issue new shares, etc., etc. So they're splitting 7 for 1. I'm not making light of it. I joke about it from a fundamental standpoint because there is no change in the fundamentals. It's just the same. If the stock's at $700 and you have a share, then when it splits, you wind up having 7 shares, except they're worth $100 each. Add 7 shares at $100 together. What do you get? $700. Here's the deal. I guarantee you the stock's going to be above $700 before this thing splits in a month. No question about it. Look and see what happened with the stock after hours. Guess about when the news came out. My bet is around 4:30. People are already buying the stock. So this is the way of the market. Back in the 90s, when everybody was a genius, we were all young, good looking, in great shape, and really rich because we all knew how to buy call options on stocks. A company would split their stock. Look what happened. In fact, I was just looking at this for another reason. Look at Microsoft. 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 3 for 2, blah, boom, 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 on and on and on. Stock open, started trading at like 10 cents pre-split on all of this. It was as low as 8 cents. Now it's at 45.91. That's the magic of splits. Okay, my point is stocks split. Microsoft, by the way, no thank you. But Netflix, stock split. They go back up and they tend to keep doing that all the way up until the time that they don't. Now, I would suggest this. I would suggest being really bullish on Netflix between now and when they split. You're going to see some gyrations in this stock. And the one thing that I want you to think about, and I talk about this with members a lot, that stock splits are really good indicators. They tell you what's, whether there's any real underlying, or undercurrents in the stock. And what I mean by that is when this stock splits 7 for 1, the liquidity is going to increase by a factor of 7. Okay, it's going to have 7 times the liquidity that it did pre-split. So it's going to be very easy to buy shares. You can put, less money and still feel like you're getting more shares. There's a lot of retail folks who will not buy a $700 stock, but they'll buy a $70 stock, even if the market cap ultimately is the same. So that's just the way folks trade. So if the stock splits and then the stock starts trading off or starts selling off, what you know is that at least part of the reason why the stock had been moving up is because it was just hard to buy. There weren't that many shares being traded. But once the market's flooded with more shares, then it's easy to buy. Well, then they don't have to pay that much money for it because there's that much more supply. So I want you to keep track of how this stock trades after the split. That's more important to me than how it trades between now and the split. Except if I'm looking to make money, which I am. That's the stuff that keeps me warm at night. So I'm going to be looking for Netflix to go higher into the split, at least over the next few days. Yes, the stock's extended, but it's Netflix, okay? It ain't no house of cards. That was a little play on words, but it really didn't mean anything. Okay, members, over to the strategy session.